Hello everyone, it is Sue here. So today we are going to work on Roxy Journal of Stitchery, Volume 8, Prompt 12 of Lacey Bits. So, this is like an awesome prompt. So let me start with just kind of updating you after last week. So last week was favorite color, so I did stitch that down. So I'm liking the way that all of this looks down here. It's almost full. I could put another prompt down here. Then in the middle here, so I did share last week that I was going to sew this up here. When I rewatched the video, I was like, wow, it almost looks like this flower belongs on top of this stem. This was after I had already sewn it on. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. What I ended up doing was I moved it over a little bit so that it would kind of line up with the stem, and I stitched it down. But then I went, this is a 2" by 2" square, and I had 2 of those, with the flowers were different on them. And I'm like, oh, well, let me cut out the other flowers and just these are just pinned, these 2, and put them on here and see if it makes sense, right? Because having this long stem with just a flower on top was looking a little funky. I could do it, but, so putting these here, I keep looking at it. I like it. I'm going to sew these 2 down. So now it looks like this stem was put here for these flowers. Hopefully, that's what it looks like. What else? Oh, over here. Okay. This should look a lot neater to you than it did last week. I actually, there was so much hanging over the edge of my wall hanging, which, by the way, is 15 inches by 22 inches. So this is not big. And so I ended up cutting that, and then I'm looking at it, and I just took it all apart. I literally took the whole thing apart. The fabric, the pink flower, I just took it all off. And I adjusted it where I needed, because it was also, it wasn't straight. It was bothering me. So I redid it, and I think that it looks really, really good now. So let me just kind of lift that up. And, easy peasy, easy fix, and I am happy with that. So today, with the prompt for today, well, let me show you first what I did. So because there's not a lot of space left on this, I have this box where I have different things that I thought I might want to use in this project. And so I went through it, and I got rid of most of the big pieces of fabric because there is no room on here for a big piece of fabric. So all of those I took off, and then I just kind of have them separated by blues and pinks because that's my colorway for this. Oh, this is a little cluster I sewed long ago. And speaking of clusters, I didn't plan this, but I am having a swap that you can sign up by October 15th. I'll try to remember to put that video in the description box if you would like to swap a fabric cluster with somebody, but it's US only. So anyway, so these are the pieces that I still have. I just love this. This is a hanky, which I just love. I would love to get one of these flowers on here. I don't know if I can. But yeah, so just different things here. And I do like to have different text on my projects. So I have that here as well. It would be super cool to actually have that prompt. And this fabric is new fabric that I recently got, so that went in here. And then, excuse me, over here, I mean, I have just these little things. I have that little piece. I have a tag for a shirt or dress or whatever. I just have little things in here. And I'm like, well, if I decide I wanted to add a different color, I have that. I do have like a lot of ribbon and rickrack and that kind of thing on the pink side. I have a zipper. Yep, I have some white lace. Yep, yep. And then I left, I'm going to take that off over here. Then I left some fabric because this was my favorite fabric. This matches those girls that are on here that everybody loves, this right here. So I have that here in case I want to do matchy-matchy. This I just thought was pretty. I could cut this flower out at some point and put that on. I would still like to add a bird. I have these birds, so I want to keep that in mind. And just these, look at these pretty flowers. I could cut them out and place them around. And then this was just so pretty. I don't know what to do with it, but it is just so gorgeous. I don't know what to do with it, but I love it. I love it. Love, love, love. So that's in here as well. So yeah, I have to try to get some of this. Like if I could get a bird and this flower included, I would be like super happy with that. So, all right. So that's kind of where I'm at with the stuff that I pulled out specifically for this project. Like I said, I cleaned a lot of it up and put it away. So now for today's prompt of bits of lace, the first thing I thought of was to pull out this. This is just a bin, well, a little bowl type thing. It's actually like a paper bowl, but it has all kinds of yumminess in it. It's like mainly whites and beiges. Well, actually, most of it is. There's a little bit of color I just threw in there. But, you know, such pretty pieces. So this was the first thing that I went through was this. And then I went through the bin that I just showed you with the blue and the pink. And so I came up with ideas. So like I had this tatting in there, which I am going to use, and I'll show you that. I have this beautiful cotton lace. I'm going to call it lace, you know, lace. So what exactly is lace? Like tatting isn't necessarily lace, but it's lacy looking. So I'm going to go with lacy looking bits. So this is just beautiful. It feels awesome. It looks beautiful. I love it. I did have other laces. Like to me, this is a true piece of lace right here. But it was just, it didn't do it for me. This as well, I really like, but wasn't loving it. This I do want to add at some point. Definitely not like a lace, but you know, I thought I could, you know, kind of, you know, do whatever there. And then I'm going to move these to the side. I have this. This is a very pale piece of lace, pale pink. And I don't want to cut it because I think it's just like the perfect piece, except it's too big for what I'm working on. It's just too big. So I'm going to put that to the side. I had this, which technically, I mean, it's kind of like a little lacy look there. I thought I could actually put it right here, but I'm not going to because I have to keep some space open for more prompts. I do like that. I will keep it in mind. If nothing else fills up this little spot, then I have this. I have this piece of fabric, lace, that I was going back and forth with putting it up here. So see, I technically could put this up here and just kind of put that down. I technically could do that, but it was just too white. I have like a lot of white going on up here. So I had this piece of blue that technically probably is not lace, but it's got that feel to it, a lacy feel to it. So I'm going to put that there. Now, what's good about this piece is that I can put something on top of it at some point, right? So it's not like that's it and that's all that's going to go there. I could put something else on top. I did even think of putting this up there, but I don't know. I kind of like that better. So I think I'm going to put that there. I'm feeling pretty committed to that. So it's just a little bit of blue at the top of the wall hanging, right? Because I have blue throughout. I definitely have more pink, but I needed a pop of blue up there. So I think that that's good. Then I also have a piece of cut, whatever it was, probably a doily, but very lacy. I have a piece similar to this right here that you're not even going to be able to see. Let me move this up. So it's right here. Now that is the place on my wall hanging that I struggle with. I really haven't been able to put anything here. And I think the reason is because this is round that I'm finding it hard to put something here. So me putting this here is just a way to put something there that I can build upon, right? It's not going to stay like that. It's just another layer because I have this fabric underneath, has a little bit of a pattern on it. So this is going to soften that and hopefully open up the idea of me placing something else there, another prompt. So I think I'm going to put that there. Now, the other thing is right here. So over here, I actually have what I'm going to call 3 pieces of lace. So I have this. It starts with this. So this is the bottom. Then I have a little bit of the tatting on top of it, which is right there. And then I have a little piece of blue lace, kind of like underneath, right here. So there's actually what I'm going to call 3 pieces of lace right there for prompt number 12. So I think that's where I am at, and I'm happy with all of this. What I thought we would do, let's go ahead and stitch these down over here. And what do I want to use? You know, I have to get out more of my white pearl thread. I know I have more because like right now I have threads everywhere, and then I go to use something. I want to use something and I can't. Oh, here's a white here. So in this bag of my pearl threads, I do have a white. I don't think that this was ever started. So here we go again. You know, the ultimate, oh, here. Okay, maybe I have used it before, but the thing that really gets me is finding the end of a new spool. Okay, so let's pick out, that's pretty big. Let's pick out a needle to use. And I think I'll use white to stitch all of these down. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that it's closer for you. Let me move it over. and I'll just kind of stay right there. Okay, so let's go ahead, get this in here. And if you're doing the Roxy Journal of Stitchery, Volume 8, let me know how you're doing and how you like the prompts. I'm finding them super, I don't want to say easy, but super fun. Just, I'm enjoying them. Yeah, I'm just enjoying them very much. All right, so my new thing is I do want to be more aware of, I have to turn this a little bit here. Let me make sure I'm still in frame since I zoomed in. So what I'm going to try to do is, well, I think I'm going to try to stitch both the pink and the white down at the same time. So, and what I've kind of told myself is just to be more aware. Like, I can just get stitching and gabbing away on a video, and then I look at it and it's like just a total, just like totally not straight at all. So how do I want that? That's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to keep doing this. I might come back. Well, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep stitching and see if I need to put any stitches higher up here. All right. So and you know what? I'm going to, because I want to get the end of this pink down right here. Let me take this pin out. So I'm going to kind of go underneath, and I'm just going to tack that down with a stitch because I don't want that sticking out. So we're going to do that. All right, and then I'm going to come down. Let's see, where do I want to stitch here? I think I'll come down and kind of put a stitch almost in the middle, basically, of these flowers right there. And as I'm doing that, I can stitch that white down better. So my stitches aren't even, but that's just because, well, when you have something like this where you have a lot of holes in things, you just got to kind of go with the holes, right? Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to keep looking just to make sure. Let me move this thing. See, it's starting to get a little slanted there. No, I think it'll be okay. All right, and we're gonna come. So I'm grabbing the white lace, and then I'm going up to get the pink. Okay, so, oops, I pulled that too tight. All right, so what I think I need to do is do a stitch on the white, and I'm going to move that blue up just a tad, because when I stitch on the white right here, it's also going to stitch that blue. So that's my goal. And I don't think I'll stitch the bottom of the blue. Sorry, I know I keep moving it, but I have to. Are you like me where it needs to be facing a certain way? Okay, so let's just kind of get in here, and we're going to stitch both of these down together. Oh. All right, so I've been working out in my garden. Oh my gosh, it's almost all gone. Almost. I have some marigolds. I have still 4 tomato plants. But they're almost done. Well, one of them has quite a few tomatoes, green tomatoes still on it. But the other 3 are almost done. So, but all of my eggplant, my lettuce and that kind of stuff, my peppers are all taken down. All taken down. Yep. I was going to plant more lettuce, but I don't think I'm going to. I feel like I'm just kind of done with the whole garden thing. Oh my gosh. I mean, it takes a lot throughout the year, 2 or 3, because I started it in March. So March through, here it is October. So that's a lot of months. All right. So I think I can just knot that off. Nope. See, I did not grab this part of the blue. So what am I going to do? I'm going to undo. Let's undo a little bit here. I'm going to undo, whoops, a couple stitches. And we're going to put that blue up under there. Better. Like that. So I'm sure that I get it. Okay. So this is the new improved Sue. Slow stitching Sue. I'm just trying to be more careful. Be more careful because I want it to look pretty. All right, so let's try this again. This time I can see I have the blue lace. And then off camera, I will stitch the other pieces on, and I'll share with you next week what I did. I'm also going to sew those 2 flowers on, those pink flowers that I showed you in the beginning. All right, so over here, I'm going to put an extra stitch at the end, just kind of like this, and we'll knot that off. Yep, I think that that's good. So the blue is sewn. I think it looks straight. So I think that's good. All right. So that is it for today. I will be back next Thursday with more Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 8. On Mondays, I put out a crafty chit chat and slow stitching video, so come catch that. I work on different projects. And yeah, check out the slow stitch swap I have going on. The link will be in the description box. Fabric cluster, US only. And I will stitch this down before next week. And I will stitch these down and this piece right here. And then I'm all caught up. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you soon. All right. God bless. Bye-bye.